Veterinarians of Reddit, what are the funniest pet names you've had come into your clinic? Had a neighbor once who had two massive Rottweilers and allowed their young daughter to name them Big Dog and Glitter. My friend used to have a cat named Chicken Salad. He currently owns a cat named Grandma. Sorry, I have to get off the phone. Grandma just pooped on the couch. Grandma is always sneaking chicken scraps out of the trash can. Grandma always flops on the floor when I get home, so I can rub her belly. Vet Tech here. Best one was a tiny little chihuahua named Bone Crusher. He was owned by an amateur bodybuilder. Guy was like 6 feet 4 and close to 300 lbs. Funny situation all in all. Wanker. A terrier mix who was actually pretty cool and not a wanker in any sense. Also a blind and deaf dog named Helen Smeller. Vet Tech here. We did a minor surgery on a cat named Bastard yesterday. Nowhere near the top, but I can't remember the ridiculous ones off the top of my head. I work at a vet's. We had to do a call back for advice on a cat named Balbag. I have some friends who have a cat named Greg from accounting. My personal favorite is a dog named Wolfgang, which inspired me to name my cat Meowwazit. I met a cat named Maybelline at the vet, which I thought was a great name because it comes with a built-in theme song. Like someone walks into the room and says, "Who knocked over the vase?" And you sing, "Maybe it's Maybelline." Apostrophe. I work at a doggy daycare. We have had a mini Aussie named Crowbar, a Cavalier named Channel No. 5, and a Squirrel named Mr. Pickles. Also, one client with the last name Crow got a dog from a shelter and kept the name they gave him, which is Jim. I always wanted to have an animal named Peeve so I could say this is my pet peeve. Not a vet, but I do work with animals. We had a dog named Lunchbox. Still can't get over that. My aunt and uncle used to have a lovely white cat named Dump Truck. I miss Dump Truck. When I was 3 and really into construction equipment, I named my cat Ditch Digger. He died fighting a raccoon. R.I.P. Ditch Digger. Not a vet, but if any of the ladies from our vet place were here, they'd probably tell the story of me bringing in my sister's cat to be spayed. And I had to look them in the eyes and tell them this tiny, buzzing calico girl was named Batman. As the lady behind the counter put it, we've had a couple other pets named Batman. None of them were girls, though. As to why her name was Batman, my sister, who was in her 30s at the time, just insisted repeatedly that Batman is a cool name for a girl. Apostrophe. Nav, but in high school my friend had an iguana named Marijuana. I once had a pet emperor scorpion named Cuddles. Veterinarian here. A pin smoke, a Persian cat, cot number 9, another cat, a lady with 4 cats, Elvis, Bosom, Jesus and Barbara, a dog called Soul, Arsehole equals arsehole, Batman, a cat with facial markings like a mask, the kid Samson equals a bulldog, the nurse's name all wild crows, Russell and seagulls, Steven forgot about Bizzle Chips, Bull Mastiff, and Gravel, my own dog. Gravel had a gritty childhood. Leonardo DiCaprio, zombie apocalypse. A friend of mine also had a rabbit called Floppy, and the family surname was Dick, so you can imagine how that looked in the diary. My uncle had a cat in the 70s named Duck-You, so when his cat got out, he could walk around the city yelling, "Hey, Duck-You." Rumor has it that he had a drug problem. My husband used to work at a Humane Society vet office. He was up for adoption, not in for vet care, but once a rooster came in named Cluck Norris. This was in Reno, Nevada. Not a vet, but have friends with cat named Battle Station. Not a vet, but my neighbor had a dog called Deefa, D4. The dog's name was literally Deefa Dog, D4 Dog. Amatech. Once had a olive yellow lab named Dog at some point. Last week we had this really small, yet chunky chihuahua named Walnut who couldn't keep her tongue in her mouth. There was a dog I was instructed to not even go near as he's extremely aggressive and needs to be calm for his groom. His name is Hayden, so I'm expecting some giant GSD or something. No, it was a small all brown ancient cocker spaniel. I have Buddha saw a poster for a missing cat named Chairman Meow. Worked at a daycare. Bulldog named Potato was a favorite. My sister used to work at a doggy daycare, and there was a dog whose name was Dammit. Come inside, Dammit. My aunt had a dog named Bandit. Every year they'd go camping with Bandit, and there was a family that always was in a spot near them. The family had this little girl who, for some reason, couldn't say Bandit and instead called the dog Dammit. By the time she was 6 or so, it was routine for my aunt to hear little hands smacking against her, the girl's RV door, and a little girl voice yelling, "Let Dammit out." Dammit got to the point where my aunt was in the bathhouse and a woman approached her saying, "I'm sorry, but are you the one that named that dog Dammit?" Funniest name I ever heard of, not a vet, was Serenity Meow. My nephew named his cat Farmer and his dog Pancake. Grandpa is a vet, but these pets were in the family. Migraine, Yellow Lab, Alfonso Horatio Montego III. I don't know what breed he was. He was about 70 pounds. Henry Jesus, huge grey and spotted shepherd that was born an only child. Mecca or Mecca Lecca Hi Mecca Hinny Ho. Her bud had so much emotion. There's more, but those are the ones off the top of my head. There's a pot-belly pig living next door to me. I've called him Notorious P.I.G. Not a vet, but my hamsters are named Alexander Hamsterton and Aaron Fur. My brother's cat was called Tabar. He didn't want a cat, it kind of moved in. He took it to the vet, and, because it didn't have a name, was marked BAP to be announced. Not a veterinarian, but my mother had 3 goldfish named Drake, James, and Beach. Also, my 5-year-old named her cat Queen Hissifit. My partner and I have a fish called Fish Fingers, and the next one is intended on being a flashy gold color, and we are calling it Canai. I love that your mother called them Rick, James, and Beach. Not a vet, but work at a vet clinic. Kennel worker. We had 2 dogs come in named Peanut Butter, male, and Butter Cookie, female. Both responded exclusively to butter. Another time, we had a mean pom named Papa Love, apostrophe. DVM student here. I've met a cat named Papa Work, a cat named Monkey Slap, a toy Schnauzer named Snack Pack, and a Great Dane named Left Boot. His human was a 7-year-old boy who yelled at me because I misread his name, which was written L. Boot, which I assumed was a kid trying to write L Boots. I was like, L Boots is an adorable name, did you think of that? He yelled at me and said, "No, he's just one boot. Left boot." Also, my leopard gecko's name is Fitz Lizard Darcy. Okay, not a vet, but my BF and I were walking through campus one night. We hear vicious barking nearby, followed by a stern, male voice saying, "Be quiet, Biscuit." Just the juxtaposition of the downright feral growling and the fact that the dog's name was Biscuit had us in stitches. We had a German Shepherd who was a lovable doofus, but really mean looking to strangers. One day we were walking her, and some teenagers sitting in a group on the footpath saw coming, and started getting up to get out of the way of the dangerous dog bearing down on them. But just as she got close, she shifted the ball she was carrying in her mouth, and it let out a huge squeak. The illusion was broken, and the kids all fell about laughing. She was a damn good dog. Miss her heaps. My wife worked at a vet clinic where a dude's cat was named Flathead Pussyface. My dad's a vet. We've had a lot of cats named Hitler and Adolf and Auschwitz from a Jewish couple, but the funniest has to be a class pet rabbit from a 3rd grade teacher that the class named Milton Abernathy. I have no idea why that was chosen, but it makes me giggle whenever I hear it. Runner up is a golden retriever named Chad. I'm quite sure the vets whisper about my parents' cruelty to our cat Pesky behind our backs, especially because the little slut always cuddles up to and purrs for vets. He was an ex-stray we didn't realize was going to be permanent. Alright. We would definitely have named him something different if we realized that pesky little twerp who refused to go away would end up breaking us. As a child, my aunt had a tortoise called Galloping Dandruff. It was named by my grandfather. One of the best pet names I've ever heard of was a fjord horse. Wikipedia. Or Wiki fjord horse. Named Harrison Fjord. Crazy cat lady here. The best pet names I've heard are Speed Bump for a tortoise and Scrodina for a cat. I'm stealing that one. Not a vet, but I work at a pet store. A regular names her dogs after house supplies. Her current dog is named Drano. Had a Pomeranian mix named Stinkerbell. She loved to get in people's faces and kiss. If you blew in her face when she was kissing you, she would go crazy and kiss faster to the point you couldn't breathe. I used to tell people, if they didn't want her to kiss you, just to blow in her face XD. I have a job where I go into people's houses all of the time. One day, I saw a photograph of a corgi mix on the fireplace mantle and I commented that it was a very cute dog. I asked what its name was. Pot roast. So I said, oh, well, he's really cute. The guy sets the coffee he was drinking down, turns to me in disgust and says, she's a girl, TLDR. I misgendered a man's dog and he really took it to heart. Had a cat come in named Ghostface Killer once. He was all black with a white mask on his face, so it fit pretty well. My neighbor's dog is a spaz and never stops barking while outside. I don't know his name, so I call him Sir Rowdy Barks-a-lot when I yell at him to shut up. My neighbor has never corrected me. My cat's name is the Blue Meanie. The vet is often a bit concerned about putting their hand into a box that contains something called the Blue Meanie. A local drug seller, who lost a bit of hearing in jail, named a dog he always take out with him when he's working Hackham, which means cops. Reason? Each time the cops show up and someone raises the alarm, the dog hears its name and reacts, allowing the half-deaf dealer to notice the danger and escape. Rescued a kitten from some kids who were piercing its ear and getting it high by offering them $20 for the cat. One kid says under one condition, you gotta keep his name. I'm like, okay, what's his name? It's Homie. What's funny is my last name sounds like an O and a G. OG. So for his 17 years with us, he was Homie-og. My friend named her cat Albus Percival Wulfric. He's super fluffy. Brian Fluffledore. She calls him by his full name in all its glory when he is naughty. Edit. I can't believe I forgot the most important part of his name. Fluffledore instead of Dumbledore. Fluffs McGiggles was my retarded she TZU, and I still call my bitchin' Professor Scruffles. I have in a pinch a Pomeranian named Magarak. His name is Croatian for jackass or donkey. My grandmother had a laughing fit when my non-Croatian speaking mother told her what my dad named our dog. Not a vet, but my mom named her guinea pig Scratch and Sniff. We also have a dog who was originally named MJ, as in Mary Jane, not Mitchell Jackson. We had a dog named Spidey, which is a short form of Spider-Man, at the time so it fit, but was nicknamed Noodle after getting a spaghetti noodle stuck to her face for half an hour. This is now what she responds to, and therefore her name. Noodle's a good dog. Also, my goldfish was named Magikarp. This is the only one that was entirely my fault. The other ones were my parents' ideas.